Now, Stefan Kamasz, you first played your football in Leeds with Farnsley Celtic. Then when you came over to Australia in Newcastle, I think at the age of 19, was it the mighty Western Bears that had your talent? 3 titles with them. And since then, I reckon you've held pretty much every position in Australian football, through federations, up to the board of Football Australia and everything in between, CEOs of clubs. It's great to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Stefan, you wore many hats though. Was team manager just one of your roles?
Yes, I was actually the head of delegation, but because the then Australian Soccer Federation was not prepared to outlay any money for any additional staff, I also became the team manager. So I had to do all the paperwork as well. And I met Les 12 months before when I was involved with the World Youth Cup in Newcastle. But I still had to gain his confidence, so to speak, which hopefully I was successful in doing, because he's still talking to me after 40 years. But it was a terrific job, and it was a very well-run tournament by the Football Association of Singapore. They did a magnificent job, and it was a pleasure being there.
Stefan, we've also got some interviews from you, and this one is you as a team manager actually talking about what you think the game in Australia needs. Let's have a listen.
Team manager, Steve Kamasz.
The facilities here are first class. I mean, the National Stadium is one of the most magnificent stadiums I've ever seen. And even the training facilities that we have here are very good indeed. I mean, this stadium here would rank as being one of the better ones in Australia.
Stefan, Steve, can I ask, was that an ossification? Like, could Australians just not wrap their head around Stefan?
My father's name was Stefan. I was Stefan. So when Mum decided she was going to chastise one of us, I became Steve. My father became Stefan. So there was no confusion about who was copying it at the time, right? When I came to Australia, Steve stayed with me for many, many years. And I have to say that when I joined the National Soccer League in 1982, I decided that I should leave Steve because there were certain prejudices against the sport and the multicultural side of the sport. And so I still was known as Steve. But when I left football in the mid-90s for a while, Stefan came to be introduced. When the National Soccer League ceased and the new A-League commenced, we had a situation where there was no National Youth League, as we've said, and the focus was just on one team at the senior level nationally. So, what existed before was no longer there. The Institute of Sport was no longer there. A lot of the state institutes were no longer there. So the players that came through that system weren't coming through anymore, and there was limited opportunities for them to play at the top level in the A-League. So there's a combination of those reasons as to why, we don't have a golden generation coming through at the moment. However, with the introduction of the A-League academies, James's second division. Then we're starting to, and I hope that something happens with the National Youth League as well, under the A-Leagues, because we need these kids to have an opportunity for the best to play against the best, so that they can come through the system and we get back to producing another golden generation.
You mentioned the players looking up to Cozzy and his stature at the time. Stefan, what would they like to manage as a team? Were they rascals? I bet.
They were terrific, actually. I was thinking that one or two of them, because they were stars, might be in love with themselves. But no, they were a terrific group to work with. They were fantastic, and of course you have the boss next to me, who was in charge, and. They respected him, so they behaved themselves. So, it was terrific working with them at the time. I loved it.